Hello again. So we're back to my so-called quickie builds. So today we'll be working with surgical precision, rubble and terrain destroyed building piece. So basically I glued it on a piece of mahogany wood, which then I wall puttied to keep all the excess space, then primer with Zerk gray primer. And then I will be doing some highlights on this build. So we will start with dark gray and then we'll move on to some no beige, which is a lighter tone, and then we'll add a little bit of contrast to it with some red brown. And then later on I will be showing you how to burn tires with matches on this flat 36, which I found hanging around my stash. Weird because it's supposed to be on a kit. And then we'll be starting again with a few highlights on light gray and white for the building, since I'm trying to simulate some snow effects. So let's begin. So basically, I have been busy lately with trying to improve on my diorama or vignette skills. So I've been looking at a lot of things to formulate or to try to mimic from big names on either Facebook or web pages I've been looking through. So, basically, vignettes for me are a bit of a challenge because it's trying to fit your main character at the same time, the basic pieces that come together, basically like half a tank or, random 36 piece that you find in your stash, which until now I'm scratching my head because I don't see the other pieces of my flag. So right now I'm starting with the dark base, keeping everything as covered as possible, and then we will move on to the highlights. Basically, this is a very unorthodox step for me because people have been asking me, why am I quick to do things, or do I rush it, or what? So basically, this is a full video of what happens. The whole process of me doing my thing from start to finish. So yeah, then we're moving to highlights now. So white will just cover some sections of where I plan to paint the darker, to paint the bricks or wall tones and such. So you see I am placing all the colors, so in case you are questioning what type of tones I'm using, again, big thanks to Zerk Scale Model Paints. These are locally made paints here in the Philippines, so they are also being distributed by Zerk Australia. So they have a Instagram page you can check, and then on Facebook, Zerk has also their Facebook page. So as you can see, I'm highlighting right now all the sections I want to show the tones, and later on when I add the washes, they should actually show the different colors of the terrain. Also, big thanks to Surgical Precision. Surgical Precision is also a Philippine-based company. It's a resin base, which is also known as a garage kit, that's usually used for tabletop gaming. And then this is my way of utilizing it for my vignettes or dioramas. The fun thing about these things is your imagination can run wild, but try to make sure that you are also historically correct. That part I still have to learn. I sometimes mismatch, or sometimes I overdo my things. So basically, I started with discovering things through people. So you learn things. Okay, now we're working with the wall. So I started out with the beige to highlight the wall. As you can see, the finished product later will be shown. So the nice thing about Zerk paints is they're already pre-thin, so just shoot edge right. So now I'm currently covering all the wall sections, not to overspray them, and then also the fallen wall pieces. So if you have any comments or anything to clarify, there's always a Facebook page of mine. You can PM me there, or you can also comment down on the video. As you can see right now, we are almost done with the terrain and the building. So I will be mixing a few pigment colors on that later and adding more tones. So let's work on the 36 wheel base. So I actually damaged the whole thing just to make it more destroyed-ish, if you will. So I will be also working on this with dark and light tones to keep the the weathered look. So I'll be starting with dark gray and then we'll be moving to white. So basically I am trying to modulate or show different tones on this build. Basically, as you can see that it is not a solid color. I will also be thinning the main or the base color for this to a much watery-ish mix, so that I can play around with my tones. So also, to begin with, I already melted the tires. I just didn't want to show how I did it because I kind of burnt my fingers. That is the reason why I'm wearing gloves. The usual reason that we should not play with fire. Fire is bad. So anyways, I have placed the dark and light tones now. So adding white to the highlight sections where I will have to lighten the tones also. Thing about playing with highlights is it's also tricky because once you start wrapping this up with the washes and your pigments and your effects, sometimes you overdo it and the effects, uh, so to speak, hide or get covered. So I'm also in a learning process of trying to perfect that. Lately, I have been doing 2 or 3 beignets, which I have happily would say I have done a good job. So basically, this is what the beignet should look like, or the base should look like after a few washes. Sorry I was not able to cover this because my phone ran out of battery. So it's back to the 36 base. I will be mixing dark yellow and a few drops of beige, and then I will thin it down so that it's watery enough to lighten to paint over, and the different tones will come out. And also at the same time, this will also show some wear and tear. And it's also easy for me to sort of sand off or chip off later in the next process. Basically right now we are almost at the end of the paint job. Next is the chipping and the washes. So basically this is me holding the finished colors, and then I will be chipping it with sponges and also random paints. Reason why I'm showing the finished product is because when I started to upload, all the videos started to buzz up. So basically this is what it should look like now. So enjoy the view. Thank you and for watching. And subscribe to my page and keep me posted for all your works and updates. Have fun and keep modeling.